And we're back with the highly requested detailer's website review. This is where I take a detailer's website, in this case, Meguiar's Detailing, and I break down, critique what they can do to better optimize their website so it can actually produce results and they can actually get leads and customers. Because if your website is not doing that, it's not doing its job. I have permission from him to do this video, so don't get all in the comments saying I'm being too mean. This is what he wants because this is actually going to help his websites improve. And if you want to see a more in-depth training on how I turn my website into a customer generating machine that works 24/7, click the link down below and watch the training. It goes into a lot of detail of how I went from a struggling detailer to a booked out detailer. Let's go ahead and get started with this episode. All right, so let's dive in and review Meguiarsdetailing.com. Now, I don't have much context of his business, what he does, what services he does. So I'm just going based off of looking at the website at face value and then giving my critiques. Some of the stuff may not apply. Some of these things might apply to you, might not apply to you. So just take what I say and kind of mold it to best fit your scenario. So again, 80% of detailers, 80% of businesses have a website that doesn't actually work for them. It doesn't produce results, it doesn't generate leads, and it doesn't book out their schedule. And if your website is not doing that, it's not doing its job, point blank, black and white. It's not about making a pretty looking website or it has these cool little features where the photo slides in and the button pops up. None of that matters. It needs to produce leads and you need to book out your schedule. That is literally it. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look here. So first thing I would do is literally just check how much words there are on the page. I'm not gonna, okay, it's okay. I'm not gonna look at the, let's see here. So there's 725 words. You could probably get that up to like 1,000. Your homepage will always be your strongest page on the website. So you want to make sure it is well optimized because your homepage ends up being your catch-all for a lot of other keywords that you're not necessarily ranking for, but if it's strong enough, it'll show up in the search results for a lot of other smaller keywords that you're not necessarily ranking for. So a homepage is very, very important. So and I'm just gonna I'm gonna go all over the place. Like you watching this video is the same of me going through this website. Like I haven't seen, I maybe clicked on 2 of his pages and I started recording. So I'm kind of seeing this live with you. So let's see, providing high quality mobile detailing in Redwood City and surrounding areas. So on this one, I would cut this part out and just put here, providing high quality mobile detailing in Redwood City, just because surrounding areas, as far as optimization, it's not making a difference here. I would put the surrounding areas like somewhere down here, but just to keep your H1, that's what it's called, your heading 1, your H1, just to keep it clear and concise and to the point, I would just leave it there. And then you can put the surrounding area down here. Experience the ultimate in car care, the best car detailing service in the Bay Area, and we come equipped with power and water. You could probably clean that up a little bit, but overall that's good. Now, one thing that I see a common mistake is you need to darken the image behind you a lot more. Because with some of these photos like this one, the white text blends in with the photo in the background, and most of your traffic is going to come through the mobile device, not a desktop. So when someone's like, passenger seat going to dinner or they're on the way to work and they're looking down at a screen, and like here it's the white text is blending in with the background. So in your settings, you're able to increase the darkness of that photo. And I would highly recommend that because on some of these photos, it's very difficult to actually read the text. And I would also get rid of the sliding images. Just have one static image. You don't need to have multiple images. Like this Bentley one getting washed or this Aston Martin getting washed makes no difference. This wheel cleaning, although it's a great 50-50, it has no impact. What's going to make a difference is you speaking to the potential customer in what you have on your heading, right? Like these words here have much bigger impact than the photos that you're displaying in the background. All right, so get rid of this and just put one static image and darken the background. This here, I would get rid of the about the owner part, or at least move it down, because again, I want to know, do you offer services? Do you offer the services that I want? What areas do you service? How much do you charge? Like, you need to give this customer or this potential customer the most like straightforward information that they need. The about us is fine, don't get me wrong, but at a minimum, move it down to the bottom of the page because no one cares about you. They care about your services. Okay, there's a difference. So on here, let's see, our top-notch car detailing services in Redwood City. So in general, I would probably say you want to make sure you're using the proper keywords, but then at the same time, you don't want to make it sound like you're a robot, right? Like every other sentence is like, mobile detailing in Redwood City. Come check out our services in Redwood City, mobile detailing. So there's a fine line you wanna be on. You don't want to sound like a robot and you're just spitting out spam because it's for SEO purposes. So on this one, for your homepage, I always recommend that you keep things where it, like, for instance, you have your interior detail page, your exterior detail page, and your gallery. How many services do you have? So like, let's say right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 services: interior detailing, exterior detailing, paint protection, and then maintenance details. I would have 4 buttons right here that just says interior detailing, exterior detailing, maintenance details, and paint protection, and have a button basically like this, but just in a button format, that they're all lined up in one row, and it says learn more, and it takes you to that page. That way, like when people land on your homepage, it's like, oh, boom, there are the services that he offers. I click that button and I go read more information, and that's how I make a decision if this is a detailer for me. This about us, move it all the way to the bottom. Ceramic coating specialist in Redwood City. Again, like, just going back to what I said, if you offer ceramic coatings, that should be a little snippet, and then have a button that takes you to that. So basically like this, I just add more context. You could even do it to where you create 4 of these blocks here. So let's say 4 blocks. And if you just put some text underneath this, and then you just flip it every block. So the button is here, and then on the next one, the button is here, but the text is over here. And then again, you add another one, and the text is over here, but the button's over here. And you kind of make it crisscross like that. So it looks like kind of nice and organized. You can list out your services like that, but having it like this to where it's like they have to read this much, I wouldn't do it that way, because it's like, again, you want that your homepage is going to be your strongest page, and doing something like this, just for me, isn't the most optimal way. You can do this on the actual page itself for that service, but doing it in this manner, it's a little difficult. Also, it's okay to do it sparingly, meaning like here or there, but I would not have a dominant website where the background is black and the text is white, solely because it's a little more difficult to read. Like, it's always easier to read black text on a white background than white text on a black background. So I would just like switch that if it just, for me, like personally, and I think most people, it's easier to read black text on a white background. And then make sure that you're like, right now, I know this is not a pure white. Like, I think if you go into your settings and you look at the color text, this would not be a pure white. It wouldn't be like the hex code 0000. It's like a little bit of gray in there. So I would go in there and make sure like it's fully white, so it's much easier to read, because it's kind of dull. Like you kind of have to slightly squint your eyes to really make it pop, so you can really read the words here. Same thing here, like it's really hard to see these links, so make sure you actually have them white. And then on the links, make sure you change them to like a color like purple or blue or red. That way the links really pop out and they're not blended in with the white text. And also, one thing is, if you're editing any websites, always check to see if it also looks good on the mobile version, right? When you're editing your website on desktop, everything looks good. Everything is positioned the way you want it to be. And then when you collapse it to mobile, then it's like, oh, the photo's all the way down there, and the text is actually moved a little bit to the left. And so always confirm it looks good on mobile as well. And then if not, then obviously make the necessary adjustments on your mobile settings as well. Okay, so that is the homepage. Did I really say anything? So yeah, I would change the services to more like clickable little blurbs, and then have a button that says learn more. But again, I'm not gonna read all this, because we're already like at 6 minutes, and I could spend 30 minutes just on this homepage alone. So another thing too is, anytime you're adding new pages, which is primarily your service pages and your service area pages, those always have to be linked back to your homepage. So your homepage should be distributed, like the link. This is internal backlinking. Is your homepage should have all the links to your services and service area pages. Service area pages are your mobile service areas, right? Like where you actually travel. So for here, you're saying Redwood, you should have one Redwood City mobile detailing page. I'm gonna just say Bay Area. You should have a Bay Area mobile detailing page. If what's another city around here? Okay, he doesn't have one, but you should have whatever other city mobile detailing page. You should create as many of those pages that you actually go and service. So if you have 6 surrounding areas, right, whether it's a city, a county, whatever, you would have 6 different mobile service area pages. If you have, just 2 areas that you service, or that are around you, you probably have more. You would have 2 mobile service area pages. So okay, that's good. So let's go look at your Let's do exterior detailing. Okay, so exterior detailing. So your H1 is not optimized, and this is why I don't do I don't do an exterior detailing page or interior detailing page. Every page has to have a specific keyword that you're targeting, because right now you can't really focus on any one thing because you're trying to do a catch-all of like exterior detailing. So for instance, if you, let me see here. Okay, so like you see here, you have headlight restoration as an add-on for $100, but like, again, this is based on like how you run your business. So whatever I say, mold it to fit you. Like for us, we don't, like we have a service that's called a wash and wax, and that's like, let's say $180, right? So we have a specific page for that service, but we don't have it like as an add-on. It's its own dedicated page, so we can create content around that service. Same thing with headlight restoration, right? We have a headlight restoration page, and we charge $120 for a headlight restoration, and it gets its own dedicated page. But we wouldn't do a dedicated page for trim restoration or glass polish because it's a lot smaller of a service, and we just there's not much content you can really create around it. Not that you can't, because if you wanted to create your own page, you definitely could. But for us, because it's a smaller service, we don't create a page for that. But what I'm saying is, instead of like you have one exterior detailing page, based on what I'm looking at, you can create a wash and wax page and a headlight restoration page. So now you can have two pages of services instead of one exterior one that's very generic. So let's see if you have other. Again, this is why I don't do packages, because like a bronze package, a silver package, a gold package, like I have to look at I have to be on this page and like, okay, so then it gets this and then it gets that. It's like, bro, I just want like, you know, a wash and seal. Where's that at, right? That's why I personally don't do packages. Like we don't do any packages. We just have services. You choose whatever you want and we bundle it together. So let's see here. So there's no paint correction, but let's say, okay, so just as an example, let's say you have paint correction, headlight restoration, engine cleaning, what's another one? Ceramic coatings, and an interior detail. Those would be 5 pages you can create on your website, all fully optimized, and are able to rank for those specific keywords, right? Instead of having one catch-all of exterior and one catch-all of interior, you can have 5, 7, 10 different service pages ranking for those specific services. Next, your hopefully you guys can see this. Your URL here, it says exterior detailing. Again, this is already like, I wouldn't recommend you having exterior detailing. So let's say this is a headlight restoration. You would want to instead put headlight restoration, what is it, Redwood City. And that's how you would want to follow for all the services. So for the Bay Area, you'd put headlight restoration, Bay Area. Bay Area. And you would do that for every page, minus the home page. You would follow that pattern for every service that you create. So yeah, and again, a big part of SEO is making sure all your pages are interlinking to each other. What I mean by that is, same thing what I said about the homepage. Your exterior detailing page should have links from your other services, from your service area pages, and those all need to be interlinked to each other. Like your website basically needs to be a spider web of internal linking across all your pages, right? This is a big deal when it comes to SEO. You need to make sure you're internal linking, heavy on the internal linking. Like for instance, I think we have like 25 plus pages on our website, and I interlink everywhere, right? Some it's within the text, some it's on bullet points, some it's at the bottom, but like I interlink all pages throughout my website. And if we go here to interior, it's basically saying the exact same thing. Like everything I just said about the exterior detailing page is 100% applied to the interior page. No question. Like the exact same thing I just said is applied here as well. But one thing I can do differently here is look at the page title. And the page title is the text that shows on the first page of Google in the page results, okay? So if someone searches for interior detailing in Burlingame, California, this text, the page title, is what they'll see in the links. So it's very, very, very important that you create a high value clickable page title, because if someone is if someone is in Google and they're searching, right, whether it's phone or desktop, and they search for interior detailing in Burlingame, right, California, they're looking at 10 other links on the first page of Google. So out of all the links, and it's just a white page, there's just links. There might be a little local 3-pack of websites, but if they're just looking at the organic listings, why would they click on your link over the 9 other links that are there all based just on text. That's why it's super important to have a high value clickable link that makes someone click your link over everyone else's, because again, you're just staring at text. The way someone moves their finger to a website they're going to click is based on what the words say, right? There's no images, there's no reviews. It's just, what does this link say? And that's how you're going to get someone to click on your website over your competitors. It's a big deal. So yeah, I won't add on much here, just because it's literally the same as what I said earlier. What else can I look at here? So I'll talk in general about, so on every page on your website that are meant to be optimized. Because, I mean, you can optimize every page, but like the About Us page isn't going to get searched for. Your contact page, your blog page, those aren't so important for optimization, because it's a one-off page, right? You're not trying to rank your contact page in Google. Like, there's nothing to be ranked for. So actually, let me click on this blog, because this is a question I get all the time, is do I need to write blog posts in order to get on the first page of Google? And that is a hardcore no. You don't need to write blogs. Blogs is irrelevant to ranking in local SEO. And there's a difference between local SEO and web SEO. Local SEO, as a local business trying to generate leads and sales for your service-based business, does not need a blog. If you were an e-commerce store, a software store, if you service clients nationwide because you had a franchise, and even then you're in the gray area there, then it would make more sense to have a blog. Like if you're e-commerce or software, yes, it makes more sense. You being a local business does not have the impact on your SEO to write blog posts. And I can say that confidently, because when I was writing blog posts back in 2015, 2016, my blog posts were ranking on the first page of Google for, whatever I was writing for: how to clean an engine, how to clean leather seats, how to, wash a car, right? And I was getting tens of thousands of visitors per month through my blog posts, okay? My blog posts were getting tens of thousands of visitors to those blog posts. The thing with that is that those visitors, 99% of them are outside of your area. And in the slim chance that 0.1% or that 1% is in your city, they're not looking for a detail anyways. They're trying to learn how to detail their own car. All right, so you don't need blog posts on your website. It's a waste of time. Like it's literally a waste of time. Let me click on here just to see how much he writes. Because and if you wanted to write blog posts, let's say you wanted to write, you would have to write at least minimum like a 1,500 word blog post, and this is 304. It's not doing anything. The next thing, so the next thing I would highly recommend, which I already touched on, is creating mobile service area pages. And like, let's say if you live in an area that you have like 7 surrounding cities, well, you should create 7 service pages. And that's the big advantage of what we have as mobile detailers versus shop detailers. To where with mobile detailers, if there's 12 service areas or counties or cities in your area, you can target those 12 areas with your mobile service area pages, right? If you're a shop, no matter where you're located, you have to rank for that area where you're physically located, because that is where your shop is. But as a mobile detailer, you can rank your website for multiple areas because you go to them, and that is very, very powerful. That's a big advantage mobile detailers have in terms of getting more search volume than shops do. Okay, I'll end it right there. The AC turned back on, so I think you can hear it. But again, this is just a short overview of the website. I can dissect this thing to no end and just create like a 3-hour video. But hopefully this helps Meguiar's Detailing. Hopefully you guys took something out of it. And that's gonna wrap up this video. This is just a short little glimpse of what you can do to optimize your website so it actually produces results. Again, watch the training down below if you want to get a more in-depth look into how I transform my websites. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.